Alright, so these are going to be all of my eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes are definitely my weakness in makeup. I do have clearly a lot of them, but there are a lot of them that I either am not using or that I have had for a very long time that just I've gotten other things that I like more. So we're just going to dive right into it. I did have them at one point categorized by brand, but it kind of became a whirlwind. So we're just going to go right into it. So first thing I have is the Stila Not So Nude palette. Got this one a way long time ago. As you can see, it's been very loved. It's just time to go ahead and get rid of that one. Along with these two Sonia Kashuks, have, looks like Jewel of an Eye. And then this one is the Ion Neutral Shimmer. Let me get it opened. There it is. I do really enjoy both those palettes. I just do not reach for them anymore. So I am going to go ahead and get rid of both of those. I have the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Master Palette by Mario. This one I do really enjoy. I do like the little jewel tones in here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. Sultry palette. This one's actually fairly new to me, so I haven't played around with it too much, but I do really enjoy it, so I'm going to keep that one. Modern Renaissance. There. Again, definitely keeping that. The Soft Glam. That one I definitely will keep as well. Like the Too Faced Pretty Rebel palette. I've had this one for an awful long time. I've considered getting rid of it. But my fiance does tell me all the time that not to get rid of something that I'm going to just go ahead and try to rebuy. May it be on like Poshmark or eBay or something. So yeah, I'm going to keep that one. Too Faced Chocolate Chip. This one, it's really binding. This one I do think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I don't pull it out very much. I got it with the intention of using it as like a little purse palette, but I don't really keep makeup in my purse, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. The Becca Volcano Goddess palette. This one I did just get more recently during Ulta's Christmas specials. I do really enjoy it. I do find that some of the shades just are kind of patchy. So I want to give it a little bit more of a try and then decide from there if I'm going to get rid of it or not. Okay, so Lilo Rock. I think this is the Mint Cool palette. There's that one there. I'm not a huge fan anymore of the palettes that have both the eyeshadows and the blush in them. I'm just starting to learn through myself that I just kind of like the makeup products individually, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Too Faced, a few of my favorite things. This one is going absolutely nowhere. It is one of the random palettes that I will keep that has the face products as well as the eye products all in one. Then I have the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. This one I got, I think it was a QVC special over the fall. As you can see, I've not really used too much of it. We were actually moving when this one came in, so I just was preoccupied with other things, so I do want to keep that one and hang on to it. Too Faced Everything Nice palette. I have gone back and forth on this one as it's very, very similar to the A Few of My Favorite Things palette. I do like these shades down here that I've created a look actually using all four of them. I do think though that it is very similar. I'm going to go ahead and try and get rid of that one. the Naked Ultimate Basics. Just like that. This one I don't reach for very much, but I do like the fact that it does have a lot of different variations of shades, warm tones, cool tones, and they're all matte. So that does help out when creating looks. So I'm going to keep that one. This Tarte palette here, this is the Be Magnificent palette. This one I've had for a super long time. I am going to go ahead and get rid of that one. The Just Peachy Mattes palette. I just got that one recently and I really do like that. I'm going to keep that one. Alright, so Tarte Rainforest After Dark palette. I really, really like this palette. I debated keeping or getting rid of this one, but again, it just kind of has all of the face products, all the eye products, all in one. I don't reach for it very much on a day-to-day basis. Even when I do travel, I don't reach for it very often. So I think I am going to go ahead and just get rid of that one. The Little Bare Minerals palette here, it's like really reflective, sorry. It's just the bare neutrals. This one I'm going to go ahead and get rid of as well. I just have a lot of other palettes that have basic neutral colors. Again, got it to put as a purse palette and don't really carry a lot of makeup in my purse. I do have the Naked Basics 2, and the Naked Petite Heat. These ones I'm going to go ahead and keep just because in the Naked palettes, the mattes are typically the ones that I hit pan on first, so it's nice to have the matte colors on their own. So those three I will keep. The It Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette. I've had this one for an awful long time. I had the Christmas version of it a while back and did give that one to a friend. I do think I'm going to go ahead and pass on this. I did really love it for a really long time, but just the more eyeshadow palettes that I've gotten, it's not necessarily my favorite formula for matte colors. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a couple more tries and then go from there and see if I really do want to sell that and get rid of it. So I will just maybe that one. The Urban Decay Moon, what is this, Moon Dust palette. This one is going. I really like the shadows. I really like the palette. I think it's super, super pretty, but on a typical basis, I really just don't use the colors. If I want a shimmer or a glitter shade, I typically am going to pull into like a ColourPop Super Shock shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one. Let's see here. The ColourPop Soul and Mar palette. Let's see here. Alright, so I have the ColourPop Soul and Mar palette. There is going to be the Soul palette. And to open this one really carefully, this shade up here definitely took a beating. I don't really use these ones very often. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. I probably will pass those on to my daughters just because the one is a little cracked. I don't want to necessarily try and sell it. So I will go ahead and give those to them. A couple more ColourPop sitting right in front of me. The You Had Me at Hello by ColourPop. This one I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I do like the plumber tones, the more neutrals, the shimmers and stuff in it. I just don't reach for it very often. If I want like a plummy look, I'll typically grab for like my Naked 3 or one of my Tarte palettes. So I just am going to go ahead and get rid of that one. The My Little Pony palette. This one I do want to keep just because it's, honestly, because it's cute. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this palette. The Kathleen Lights and ColourPop Dream Street. This one I do really like. I'm going to keep that one. As well as the Kathleen Lights and Zodiac. That one I do really like as well. I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Alright, so next in ColourPop I have the All I See Is Magic palette. Again, pretty reflective. Sorry about that. This one I do really like. I like the mix of them to like travel with because you can get neutrals. I can get a couple of pops of greens and stuff in through here. And then also some purple tone colors. So this one I am going to go ahead and keep. So this one is the Too Faced Sugar Cookie Palette. I did just get this one closer to Christmas time, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it just for a little bit, go ahead and play with it a little bit more, and see if I do decide that I want to go ahead and keep it or not. So the Too Faced Natural Eyes Palette, I really like this. I have hit pan here on Nude, and Cashmere Bunny, you've almost got pan there as well. I do really like this palette. I have traveled with this one an awful lot, going to different hockey tournaments and stuff for my son. I'm going to keep that one. And I did pick up a backup of it at Marshall's for like 17 bucks, so I'm going to keep those as well. I might end up giving the one that's not opened as a gift to, again, one of my daughters, but for the meantime, I am going to keep them both. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette. I did just pick this one up at Marshall's. I know there was a lot of like wig about it and stuff. I just like the mattes that are in there. They're just some unusual color mattes. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and keep it, play with it a little bit more. Try and have a pretty unbiased opinion about everything that was going on behind it. I, at the same time, picked up the Smashbox Full Exposure Palette because, again, I know there was a lot of people saying that these shimmer shades and stuff are just not of the best quality. They were just a little bit patchy. I haven't had it very long, but the couple times that I have tried it, they don't have, like, as good a pigmentation as some of, like, the Too Faced or the Urban have. So I am going to go ahead and get rid of that one. Let's see, the Double Exposure Palette, yeah, this one I do really like. As you can see, I've used like the shade in this one a lot. I am going to go ahead and keep this one. I do really like that. And then I got the 2.0, the Double Exposures 2.0 at Nordstrom Racks in Chicago. I do think I am going to keep this one. I do like the mattes down here. Again, the burnt orange is in a lot of different palettes, but I do really enjoy it, so I'm going to go ahead and hang on to that one. The Too Faced Peanut Butter Palette. Had this one for an awful long time. I don't use it very often. Goodness, I'm wondering if I should pull it out and try give it another little go and see if I do end up wanting that or if I want to go ahead and get rid of that one. So for right now, I'm just going to try that one again. Let's see here. Wipe off my hand. Okay, so the Tarte Poppy Palette. This one, again, is just one of those palettes where it's eyes and cheek. I don't use it very often. I don't grab for it very much. I am going to go ahead and get rid of that one. Similarly with the Be Your Own Tartist palette. It has the same setup in it. I do like that this one has shimmer shades in it as well as mattes, whereas the Poppy palette just has the matte shades, but I am going to go ahead and get rid of that as well. Let's see. This MAC palette, it is the MAC times 15 Cool. I just got this on Ulta's website around Christmas time. Haven't really tried any MAC shadows before, so I figured I'd go ahead and give it a try. The couple times I've used it, though, I just really wasn't in love with it. I don't really like it very much. They are a harder shadow, so I know that it's got a lot of build-up that you can do with it. I just don't really appreciate it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. Alright, so this Sephora Minnie Mouse palette here. This one I am going to go ahead and keep, if only because it's Minnie Mouse and it's super cute. I know it's not really a reason to keep a palette, but I'm going to. Okay, so the Makeup Revolution's Emily Edit. This one, I do think I am going to get rid of it. Again, I love Emily. I've watched her for years and years and years. She was one of the very first people on YouTube that I ever watched. I like the colors in here. I like the pigmentation that they give. But again, the face and eye palette, it's just not my favorite thing. So I think I am going to go ahead and pass that one on. I will keep her the Wants palette though. This one I do really enjoy. I think that there are a lot of really pretty looks that you can get out of it. And so I am going to go ahead and hang on to that one. Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. It's gigantic. Bigger palettes aren't really my thing just because there's no really good way to store them. So I typically store them in the back of my drawer and then I don't end up using them. But I do want to hang on to it. My fiance's got some shelves he's going to hang up that we're going to try and put up so I can put the bigger palettes in so they are getting more used. The Profusion Wonderlust palette. I think I ended up getting this for like $2 or $3 at Target after Christmas season. And I really like it. I don't know what it is about this blue color, but I really, really like it. And I do want to like use it all over my lid, even though it'd be very 70s of me. But I do really want to try that. Let's see what else. ColourPop and Disney. This one I'm keeping hands down. I absolutely love it. I'm a huge, huge Disney fan. We're actually thinking of taking our boys to Disney as part of our honeymoon in October. So I do really like this palette, and I probably would even take it with me on our honeymoon. So I am keeping that one. Similarly, Disney-wise, the Urban Decay As Great and Powerful. This is the Glinda palette. I've had this forever since it came out. I absolutely love them. I love Wizard of Oz. My grandma always watched it with me. This one's the Theodora palette. I will not get rid of them. Not ever. They were some of my very, very first high-end makeup purchases, and I will not get rid of those. Urban and Gwen Stefani. This one I'm kind of on the fence about. I don't want to blind it. There it is. I do want to play around with it a little bit, but again, it's just got most of the same neutrals that a lot of everything has. It's just these three colors down here specifically, like this more kind of a chartreuse color that I do kind of like as an inner corner to kind of just pop it. So I think I'm going to hang on to it, give it a little bit more love, and then go from there. These two little Tarte palettes, this Tarte Tease. This one I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I do have the full-size Tartelette and Bloom palette. I know they're a little bit different colors, but not different enough to the fact that I need this one and that one. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. This one came in, I think, a FabFitFun box maybe a while back. I don't have the Tarteist Pro palette, but I do intend on getting that at some point. So while this one has not even been swatched, not touched, it's still in its packaging, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one also. Let's see here. Tale as Old as Time by Lorac. This one is going absolutely nowhere. Beauty and the Beast is beyond my favorite Disney movie, that and Peter Pan. But this one is staying. So let me go ahead and keep that one. ColourPop Perception palette. I love this palette. I absolutely love the look of a rainbow in there. I wish I could put all the colors on my eyes at one time and make it look really super cool, but I'm going to keep that one. Same with the Urban Decay Elements palette. Oops, upside down. This palette I am definitely keeping. I just love the look of that palette. I love the colors that are in there and how it's got pops of colors and neutrals. That one's staying for sure too. So we have the Tartelette and Bloom. Ooh. This one I haven't used quite so much, but I do want to be able to give that a little bit more love, so I am going to keep that one. The regular Tartelette palette, this one I absolutely love. It's just a bunch of matte colors in there. I did take this all through Romania with me with a few different ColourPop shadows just as to use as shimmer shades, and I absolutely love it. I did not regret taking that on my trip at all. Tartelette Toasted, this one is actually rather new to my collection. I just haven't given it a lot of love, and I know that I need to, so I am going to hang on to that. away. Alright, this one here is the, what is this? The Too Faced Sugar and Spice palette. I've gone back and forth on this one too. I do think I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of it. It is very similar to a lot of other palettes in my collection. I do love it for this mauve shade down here, so I might end up keeping it, but for right now I'm going to put it in my to-go pile. All of the Nakeds that everybody has seen a number of different times are staying. I do have a backup of the regular Naked that went on clearance when they decided that they were redoing it. So I have a backup for that. Whether I'm going to use it as a backup or give it as a gift to one of the girls, those are all staying. As well as the Too Faced chocolate bar sets. So we have the chocolate bar, the semi-sweet. If I were to get rid of any, I probably would end up getting rid of this one just because most of the colors end up looking the exact same on the eye. And the little pink sugar color here is really just a sugar dud. So that one is probably staying for now, but might end up going. I have an issue getting rid of the whole collection. The Sweet Peach palette, this one I am keeping. Too Faced Bonbons, I love this. Again, for some reason, this light gray toned color down here, I really do like those colors, so I am keeping that. I did just get the gingerbread palette closer to Christmas time, so I am going to go ahead and keep that one as well. And I did very recently just get the chocolate gold palette. Not that I even really need it, but it went with the collection and I wanted them all. So I'm going to keep those. Almost done. The Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This one I absolutely love. We have gone on 2 different hockey tournament trips this year so far, and I have taken this one both times. I absolutely love it. I love that it's basically neutral with some muted pops of color in it, as well as some brighter like pinks over there. This one I'm definitely going to hang on to. Pulp Fiction palette. This one I go back and forth on because it is just neutrals. It's just some plain neutrals in there, but I really do like it. The look that I get when I'm going to work or going to church or something like that, I really do like it. It's just sweet and innocent, which is weird because it's from Pulp Fiction. But I do think I'm going to hang on to it for right now and see if I change my mind on that. The Smoked palette is definitely one that I'm going to keep. It is one that I had sold and then ended up rebuying. So for that note, I do know that I'm going to go ahead and keep it because I know myself, and if I don't, I probably will end up at some point rebuying it. Again, the jewel tones down here, they are kind of similar to a lot of the shades that I already have, but if I've already rebought it, there's no reason to get rid of it and know that I'm going to rebuy it again. This Tarte palette is the Tarte Open After Dark palette. It is the True Blood palette. Love True Blood. I absolutely love True Blood. Watched the whole series with my cousin, read the book series. I absolutely love it. So for sentimental reasons for that purpose, I am going to go ahead and keep this palette for sure. Let's go here. So this is the Tarte Pineapple palette. It's very like awkwardly shaped for a palette. It is one of the few face and eye palettes that I am going to keep in my collection. It reminds me of the show Psych. I love Psych. They have Spot the Pineapple in it. Our puppy's name is actually Jules, that we named her from that show. So only for the packaging. The shadows and everything are good in it too, but for the packaging for sure, I am going to keep the pineapple. Likewise with the mermaid shell here. I do really enjoy this. I like this, like, kind of looks like a duochrome, like, blue-brown shade. But I do really like this palette. I am going to go ahead and keep it. The MAC Cinderella palette, it's very limited edition. I don't even know how many years old it is now, 4 or 5. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one just because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of MAC shadows, but this palette I really did like. This Pixie palette I did just get fairly recently. I do want to give it a little bit more love, and then I might give it to one of my daughters, but I do like the shimmer shades here in it though. So I think it'll make a really quick and easy look, so I do want to hang on to that. So again, with all of the Lorac palettes here, similar to my Urbans and my Too Faced, it is the full set. I do really like when things are the full set, so I am going to go ahead and keep all of those. I did just get the Lorac 4 very, very recently, so I'm keeping those, as well as the Lorac Unzipped and the Unzipped Gold. The Unzipped Gold I just got during Ulta's Christmas sales, so I am going to keep both of those and give this one a little bit more of a love because I don't think I've really tried it very much. The Dose of Colors Desi plus Katie. I love this palette. I almost, when they had it on sale, bought up a backup to this palette as well, but I had just purchased this and kicked myself in the booty for it because I purchased it probably 3 or 4 days before it went on sale this winter at Ulta. So that one I am keeping. Likewise with the Persona, it's kind of, it looks like a super boring palette, but I have traveled with this one and absolutely love it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. And I also like the sleeker packaging that's on these, and like the Lorac palettes and the ColourPop palettes. They just travel super well, and they also store super well. So I'm going to hang on to that. This one's just a little Z palette that I have, like a Sephora Z palette. It's got Milani shadows in there. That one I'm going to keep. The Anastasia Norvina palette. This one I did just get. I just had a haul video on this where I said that it looked kind of like a Pepto-Bismol bottle, and that's why I hadn't got it. And it still kind of reminds me of a Pepto-Bismol bottle, but there's something, I mean, you touch the shades and you like fall in love with it. So I am going to go ahead and keep that one. I haven't even put this on my eyes yet, so I am going to keep it and try it. Let me see here, the last little bit here. So the Lorac Mega Palettes, I was actually really, really sick when this palette came out, and remember like waking up and trying to get trying to order, and then it was out of stock, and then their website was down, and finally got my hands on it. This bad boy is going nowhere. I haven't used it in a long time, but I'm not giving that one up. The there we are. There's the Lorac Mega Pro 2. This one, I don't use this one very often. I haven't in a really long time. It wasn't quite as intriguing to me as the first one, but I do want to keep it. It's part of the set. I have an issue with that part, I know. The Lorac Pro 3, this one I do really love. I love the berry tones, the more mauve tones. This one I am going to go ahead and keep, even though to me, like, this whole half of the palette just looks very similar. But I am going to go ahead and keep that one. Okay, the Lorac Mega Pro 4. I have this. I've gotten it for my daughter. I like the array of colors, but I don't know where to start with it. So I do want to keep it and maybe like Pinterest some looks just to give some inspiration and then go from there with it. But I do really like this, and these two down here just remind me of spring and Easter, and I'm going to hang on to those. Probably wash the cases of them though because they're getting awfully dirty. Here. Finally, we have the Temptress palette from Profusion. Again, this one I think I got for like $4 or $5 at Target around Christmas time. I love these two matte shades here. This like lavender color, I don't really have a whole lot in my collection that's that matte lavender, so I'm going to keep that one. Oh, the Jaclyn Hill Original Morphe palette. This one I go back and forth on as well. Just because there's so many just neutral browns in it. I think just because it, in its own way, is part of a collection with the other Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm going to keep it just for a little while. See if I use it, especially after we get my palettes kind of dug out of the back of the drawer and put up somewhere where I can see them more vividly and use them, and then I will go from there. Finally, the Casey Holmes palette, Physicians Formula. This one I did just haul. I haven't used this one yet. My friend Brittany did do a tutorial on it. We both got it at the same time. And so I do want to be able to use this and give it some love, considering trying to depot them, just because I don't feel that there needs to be a whole separate slot for these two that I'm going to put in a different place in my collection anyways. So that is that. That is all of my palettes. I am going to go ahead. There they are. You see, these ones here are what I'm getting rid of. It definitely doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it is going to be able to kind of just open up a little space, hopefully debulk a little bit, and I will be putting them all on Poshmark. So I'm going to go ahead and go start taking pictures to do that. Thanks. Bye, guys.